All right, let's begin with that breaking news that we are getting you. My colleague Srinivasan Jain is with us. Srinivasan, finally a conversation or an acceptance of a conversation between Sachin Pilot and senior leadership of the Congress.
That's right. Much has happened in the past 48 hours since we've heard from the Sachin Pilot camp. There has been the court case, there has been the sting tape, and much more. What is exactly going on? A senior source, a source in the Sachin Pilot camp, close to Sachin Pilot, had a long conversation. And these are some of the things that emerged. Because at one point it seemed when Sachin Pilot had said that he's not joining the BJP, it appeared to be like a rapprochement. When I asked this source close to Sachin Pilot, well, then what happened to the rapprochement? I was told that, look, the fact is that the Congress on one hand talks the language of peace, but then is acting. I was told that Sachin Pilot spoke to Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, as has been reported. This was 2 days ago, on the morning when that second Congress Legislative Party meeting was held. Apparently, it was a very good conversation. Sachin Pilot managed to put forward all his grievances. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra reportedly told him that she would talk to Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi and get back. But then 3 hours later, says the source, Sachin Pilot found himself sacked, removed from the post of party president and removed as a deputy chief minister, raising the question then, where is the question of rapprochement? Further, it was mentioned that on one hand, the Congress talks of peace. On the other hand, not only is there the sacking, there is the disqualification notice. And then there are also very strong words used against him by Ashok Gehlot. When I put the question as to the Congress saying that they took the action simply because they had called 2 Congress Legislative Party meetings and Sachin Pilot and his team attended neither of them, I was told, look, the reason why Sachin Pilot was upset, left Jaipur with his supporters was because of that notice that was sent to him by the Special Operations Group calling him for questioning. That was the tipping point for him. He left with that grievance. Now a CLP meeting is held in Ashok Gehlot's house, in the house of the person responsible for that notice, and Sachin Pilot and his team are expected to attend without addressing the core grievance. How can this ever be taken seriously? At the same time, the Sachin Pilot source very close to Sachin Pilot clarified that this still does not mean that Sachin Pilot is seeking to join the BJP. This was again emphatically stated, just as what Sachin Pilot had told us on record 2 days ago. But at the same time, the question remains as to what the future is going to hold, because the Congress still continues to maintain these links with the BJP, and the tapes are seen as the latest evidence of that. To that, the source said that, look, apparently Sachin Pilot has not heard the tapes, still trying to make sense of them, but says this is all part of Gehlot's strategy to try to build up grounds for disqualification, the matter which is in court, to strengthen that case, to say, look, these people are close to the BJP, they are indulging in anti-party activities, and the sting is being seen in that light. The question was asked, what about Gehlot MLAs or MLAs loyal to Gehlot? Are they not in touch with the BJP? Who's recording them? But the key question that still remains is, what is Sachin Pilot's future going to be if he comes back to the BJP? The source said that, look, the karma bhumi of Sachin Pilot is Rajasthan. If the Congress is talking of saying, we can't send you there now, you'll have to be accommodated in the center, how is that going to work? So these are the kind of questions coming up from the Sachin Pilot camp, from sources close to the rebel Congress leader. And I think we'll have to wait and see what kind of response, how does the Congress respond?
Absolutely, Vasu. But a lot is being also said about the things that are being done. So there are things being said and actions on the ground. And I guess it is that difference which is creating the problem, isn't it, Vasu? For instance, the battery of lawyers that are speaking on behalf of the Sachin camp, the various tapes that have been released. There's a lot of the fact that a COVID center was converted into a negotiation spot in a BJP-ruled Haryana. It's this action versus the comments by the Sachin Pilot camp that see a mismatch.
You're right, absolutely right, Sanket. And as you know that in politics, when you're told things by one side or the other, you do take it with a pinch of salt. So these constant protestations of not wanting to join the BJP or no links to the BJP again have to be seen in that light. And in fact, when to my questions about the tape, one didn't get a very clear answer. As I mentioned, the answer was somewhat defensive, saying, look, this is all part of Gehlot's strategy, etc. But nothing specifically on the fact that if these tapes are true, then a senior BJP leader, union minister, was actually talking to an MLA who's very much part of the Sachin Pilot camp. That didn't quite get addressed. And also the other questions you mentioned about, the presence of these high-profile lawyers very aligned to the regime, the COVID quarantine hotel, indeed, even the raids on Mr. Gehlot's close associates on the day that he was proving his show of strength. So I think it goes without saying that it's impossible that this rebellion would have gotten to a point where it has without some kind of backing of the BJP. That certainly is very much in the air. But at least officially, on record and off record, Sachin Pilot maintaining that he does not have or does not want any truck with the BJP. So you're right that sometimes those two things don't get reconciled, but that's the position he continues to take.
Say that as far as the Sachin Pilot camp is concerned, nothing has been said on record to suggest that he's indulging in anti-party activity, either forming his own or joining the BJP. In fact, all official statements that have come in by way of sources do suggest that he's still very much a part of the Congress party. It is just these actions that put his statements in doubt, and that's what complicates matters further. Whether you should trust Sachin Pilot or not, whether the Congress can trust what he's saying or not. I guess there is a trust deficit, Vasu. Would it be safe to say this?
Absolutely, because the Congress, yesterday, especially increasingly, is not willing to fully trust him. They believe his words are not sincere. They're not commensurate with his actions. A senior Congress leader told me yesterday that he actually believes that Sachin Pilot is just using this time to gain more numbers. He's booked extra rooms in the Manesar Hotel. He's still trying to poach MLAs from the Gehlot camp. He has not sought any appointment with the Gandhis. All of this indicating that he's not really serious about rebuilding bridges with the Congress. And again, there could be an element of truth in this. But then you have this other version coming from Sachin Pilot's camp saying, look, you talk of peace, but you continue to do everything to act against me, from disqualification notices to sacking to very strong statements by Gehlot to now criminal police action against MLAs of his camp. So then how does one accept the fact that there is reconciliation? So somewhere the truth lies between these conflicting versions.
Absolutely.
And we'll have to see how it comes out.
And thus the desert storm continues. Thank you very much, Vasu, for putting all of this in perspective and getting us up to speed with what the Sachin Pilot camp has been saying. None of these things on record, but a very, very close source directly in touch with Srinivasan Jain is getting us all the details. Vasu, thank you so much for joining us.